Matt, we're back.
Back for another top 10 list.
Oh, we're getting right into it, are we?
So I have one question before we start.
Yeah,
Did you play PUBG more than any game on this list?
probably.
All right.
So the game of the, just so everyone knows, the game of the year is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds 2018. But yeah, let's get right into it. Did you play any games this year?
I played a few.
Real quick? Okay, good. Making sure. All right, let's roll right into our number 10. That is Minute. Minute is a pixel art game, very simple art style, where you play as a little dude and you run around. You have 1 minute to live before you die.
Right, because you pick up this cursed sword.
Yeah, cursed sword.
Kills you every
In a
minute.
Yes.
So then you respawn.
Yeah. So it's fine. So you have to do, but the things that you do to the world stay.
Yeah.
Done. So you got to run around in a minute.
Well, some of
and-
them stay.
Sure. And accomplish little tasks. So it's just a fun, I don't know, puzzle.
Yeah, it's
puzzle game.
You basically have to
Adventure
figure out,
game.
like, you can find new places to start over when you die. So
Yes.
you can, like, sort of,
Like you unlock a
you
new
gain progress, but
camper.
you're always constantly restarting and, like, using knowledge you gain to
Yeah.
do better on the next
But
minute.
it's fun and it's cute, and they do cool things with the premise. Like there's like a guy down by the docks that you run to. He talks very slowly, and
You
he's
can
just
barely
like,
hear
he's
his
gonna
entire
tell
speech
you, right?
before.
He's going to tell you what you need to do, but you die before you get. So you got to get the fast running shoes to get to him in time and stuff. So just an inventive style I haven't seen before. I think that's why I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
It's only like an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe.
Yeah, it's just a short game, as
Yeah.
the name implies.
Yeah. So download it and play it, jerks. All right, number 9.
Don't insult the audience.
What? I'm just calling it like I see it.
Okay.
Number 9, Paratopic. I can't remember who turned me on to this game. Maybe Tim Rogers, because he put it on his list. But I liked the images I saw. It looked like a PS1 era game, and it's horror, so I gotta check that shit out.
Yeah.
I played through the game. I have no idea what it's about.
It's even shorter than Minute,
Yes.
but it's all about creating this cool, creepy atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a kind of dread style horror game, which I appreciated. And one of the things I really liked is I wanted to keep an eye out for this within the next 20 years of my life. I might make something like this. PS1 style horror game featuring driving a car in first person, and Paratopic has that. And it's like these little driving sequences where you're just driving down the road and you're like, am I supposed to be doing something here? Because you just keep driving and it's like a dusk.
And if you turn like on the radio, there's like talk radio, but like their voices are all
Yeah, the
jumbled.
voices in Paratopic are very cool because they're
Yeah.
just like, it's very odd.
It's an odd, creepy, weird little game.
Yeah, and it's about like you have a box or something. I don't know. I can't describe to you
You're
what
transporting
happens in that game.
tapes somewhere.
You're
for
the
some reason.
transporter. If you've seen the Transporter or the
It's
Transporter
just
2,
like the Transporter.
starring Jason Statham, you basically get it. But
It's
if
actually
you
more like the
haven't-
TV series.
There's a TV
there's a-
series now
there's
for
a-
Transporter.
There's a prequel TV series, I think.
Who stars in it?
I have no idea.
What's it on?
I think it's got canceled.
I think you're making this up. Anyway, let's move on to our number 8th game of 2018, Red Dead Redemption 2. Matt, everyone loves Red Dead Redemption 2 except for all the people that don't.
That's true.
Why is it number 8 on our list?
Why is it number 8 on our
I'll
list?
tell you why, because it's too fucking long!
Well, so, okay. Yes, it's a very long game, and every mission is, well, not every mission, but most of the missions are very similar,
Sure.
where you ride somewhere and you listen to some Old West dialogue,
Yeah.
and then you shoot a bunch of guys.
I had the exact... I made this point to you. This game and Breath of the Wild are the yin and yang of open world games, in that my problems with Breath of the Wild were it didn't have good enough characters or story, but its world was like insanely deep and huge, and you could do anything and approach any scenario however you wanted to. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the exact opposite problem, where I actually think the characters and story are great, probably my favorite this year, but the world feels about an inch deep, and they don't let you approach a mission in any way you want at all.
Yeah.
There was a mission where, well, whatever, I'm not going to go into it. But it's just like, you walk 10 feet away from the person you're supposed to be doing, and they're like, oh, you failed. You abandoned whoever.
Yeah.
Because you walked over there a little bit.
Yeah, it creates the setting really beautifully, but
Yes.
it's not really as fun as it could have been just to be in the setting.
But I'm not here to shit on the game. I'm here to talk about what's good about it. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like I said, the characters are very good. Which I didn't expect necessarily from Rockstar, just because they have kind of teenage sensibilities sometimes, but
It's definitely their most they're going for like a mature story.
Yeah,
Not like R-rated mature, just like an adult kind of story.
Yeah.
With
And
human emotions and stuff.
I think the people that get really into it really like the old worldy, genuine, authentic feeling of it. It feels well. I didn't live back then, but I tell you, if I did, I bet you it was similar to Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
And the hunting aspect and, you know, all the stuff. You get it. You've seen the Wild West stuff.
It's a unique open world game.
Yeah, they really put their work into making that feel like a real thing. And just the slow animations and everything, it doesn't feel like it's not a popcorn game. You know that term we all love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about my favorite popcorn games.
And I really appreciate their dedication to making the longest work of fiction that a human has ever created.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 7, Hitman 2.
Hitman 2.
Matt, I didn't play this game.
Are you indifferent to Hitman, or do you actually dislike it?
It's there are things about it that I'm like a little like, come on, which is just, I think I probably said this the last time, but I feel like it has the supposedly you can approach the mission any way you want, but I feel like they really funnel you into doing what they want you to do.
Maybe, but I think what they want you to do is usually pretty fun.
It's fun, but when I just felt like whenever I went off the rails, it catastrophically blew up in my face.
Sure. But I usually, when I play stealth games, I play them until I screw up, and then I usually load a save if I can.
Sure.
Because it's more fun to do the stealth than it is to do the chaos afterward.
Yeah. Is Hitman 2 better than Hitman 1? Or the last Hitman?
Well, yeah, the first... So the new levels, I think, are like bigger and more complex than the last game for the most part. Like they're more consistently just like impressive in like their scale and like
That's
all the
cool.
different things you can do in them.
Yeah.
And
I did like getting lost in the cities and stuff and just kind of
like there's like the Miami level, like you're at like a racetrack, and you can either like interrupt the race to kill the driver, or you can wait till they're done and like find them later and do it more sneakily like that. And like just the way you can kind of just do any level the way you want, as long as sort of like as long as you.
If it works for you, it works for you. So
it works for me and many others.
So I'm told. All right, number 6, Return of the Obra Dinn. Matt, you didn't play this game.
I wanted to, but I just didn't get around to it.
I think you should, because I was not expecting to love this game as much as I did. I saw screenshots, but and it has a cool visual style, but I feel like it really doesn't do it justice until you're playing the game. It's like an old computer monitor type thing, obviously, but it's a full 3D game. And actually, in the graphic settings, you can change what type of monitor it is, like Commodore 64 or IBM 9, whatever the fuck. But essentially, it's a game about exploring a ship that has come back in, and all the crew is either missing or dead, and you are like an insurance person or something. You're supposed to go through and explore these memories through
your magic watch,
magic compass, or magic watch, to figure out what happened and catalog each person's death. So in a way, it's like the best detective game that's been made, because I think detective vision and stuff in games is always kind of shitty. It's just like, look for the glowing object.
Yeah,
and
just
you've
follow
done
the
your
breadcrumbs
thing.
and you
Right.
find the solution.
But in Obra Dinn, you hear a little bit of dialogue for each memory, and then you actually see a still, interpretation of what just happened, and you can kind of walk through it and look at people's faces and identify them. And you have to do, so the first memory you get is like people being like, "Captain, let us in!" And he's like, "I'll kill you!" And he shoots a gun at a guy. So you can tell the guy shooting the gun is the captain. You label him in your log, that's Captain whatever the hell, and you have like a ship manifest and everything. But it gets more complicated. There's like a dialogue that happens where somebody says, "Verdammt!" And I'm like, okay, what language is that? And I go into Google, I translate it. It's German. Okay, I'm looking at the manifest. Who's German on this ship? Nobody. Oh, but there is one Austrian guy, and Austrians speak German.
Yep.
So that's who that is. And it was funny because while I was doing research and typing in words of foreign languages, I would come across tweets that was somebody being like, "So I just tweeted out what this word was in Swedish, or I just Google translated this word in Swedish. How cool is Obra Dinn?" So just by virtue of doing searches for things in the game, I would come across other people talking about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's funny that it's Google search results are probably getting all screwed up by this game.
Lucas Pope is a smart designer.
Yes, Lucas Pope did Papers, Please. If you like that game, check it out. It's very good. Let's talk about number 5. Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Super Smash
Bros. Ultimate. What's good about this one?
They brought back all the characters, and
Yes.
so it's like I think every fighting game should do this. Just have every character you've had in the series.
Yeah.
Bring them all back.
Every level.
Have a big old party.
Yeah. It's like a love letter to video games in general.
Nintendo games more specifically, I think.
Sure, but with the trophies and everything,
Yeah.
Like there's if you're a Fatal Frame fan, you can be like, oh, this is so cool. There's a spirit I can fight that looks like what's her name? Yeah, it's just it's like a Herculean effort of video games to include all this crap.
Besides the playable characters, there are these spirits which are used in like the story mode and other stuff where like they're just different characters and items from like all of gaming history.
Yeah,
And if you are a nerd
yeah.
who plays a lot of games, you'll probably enjoy that stuff.
Super impressive how all the spirit fights that they did are like, oh, this is this thing, and we related it to it. You know, it's not the same character you're fighting, but it looks like them with their color scheme, and they have a power that's related to their character, blah, blah, blah. And the game just plays good. Feels good.
Yeah, I played it multiplayer with some friends, and
Yeah.
it's fun.
I've only had one like serious session, but we got mad ruddy.
It's a good Smash game.
Yep.
It's like 100 stages.
Play it, you jerks.
Play it.
Number 4, Celeste. More like the best, except it's not because it's number 4.
Number 4.
Talk to me about Celeste.
Okay. Celeste is a platformer
Yeah.
where you play a young lady trying to climb a mountain,
Yes.
and it's
Simple
really
premise.
that's the premise.
Yep.
And like you can dash and climb up walls and stuff like that, but it's really hard because they have all these obstacles and
We go like a precision platformer.
yeah, sort of like Super Meat
Core.
Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't play a lot of those games, but this is a good one.
Yeah.
Really good controls
Mm-hmm.
to make up for like, and like it's generous with checkpointing, but like getting to the checkpoint can be really hard.
And dying and restarting is like
Yeah,
a very
that's the
fast
key thing,
process.
is you
Just like Meat Boy, you just do it over and over
yeah,
again.
you screw up and you do it again, and
Yeah.
eventually you'll overcome the challenge.
Yeah. I think the only things I knock it for was just like towards the end, I was like, all right. Like I think I felt like you felt with The Witness, where it's like, all right, I get it. Can I climb the freaking mountain now? I'm done.
Yeah, there are a couple sequences that go on quite long, and they're pretty stressful, but
Graphically, it's like one of the top things I've seen in pixel art games.
yeah,
I
it's
think.
really well. It's just really nice looking pixel art, and the music is really cool, like synthy soundtrack.
and a better story than you tend to see in that type of game.
Yeah,
Like Meat Boy
They
has
actually-
no story,
yeah,
but this actually has some like personal resonance.
yeah. It's smartly done. Like it's got a good metaphor for the
Yeah.
gameplay,
Indie games like talking about anxiety and
Yeah.
mental health,
depression, so,
mental
like,
hygiene.
yeah,
Cool.
it's a positive, cool game.
Yeah. Number 3, Into the Breach. Speaking of good ass games, I am not like a tactics guy. In fact, I thought I didn't like tactics games because I played, don't get mad at me everybody, but I played Final Fantasy Tactics and I just like bounced right off of it. It was too hard, I think. I didn't understand why I couldn't beat the first scenario.
Well, you were probably like 10 years old or so.
I was not. Yeah, I wasn't like. I played the one on DS or something like that. It was a
Okay.
report, so I was a little older than that. But still, but Into the Breach I got immediately into, and I like the thing I like the best about it is I like any game that makes me stop and like stare at the screen for 10 minutes, just like trying to find the perfect move. And the thing about Into the Breach was I would find the perfect move is always there. It's just you have to really think about every possible scenario to execute it perfectly, and then when you do, it's like, oh, it's like the best feeling. You know, you do a bomb that knocks one guy away from a building he was about to attack and into the path of another guy who's going to kill him and knock that guy back into the water, and it's just like,
Yeah. I don't play a lot of tactics games either, but what's different about this one is that you can see ahead of time what your enemy's moves will be.
yeah,
And so you can use that to just, like you said, find the right move. And
Yeah.
it might not involve killing the enemy. It might involve just making a sacrifice to take damage on
yep,
one of your guys, or just pushing someone out of the way, and just it's about because like you succeeded each mission not by killing enemies, but just by surviving long enough
Right.
to scare them away.
Yeah.
And so that
It's all about the trade-offs, yeah. Like you said,
Yeah.
like sometimes you'll have the scenario and you'll see it right away where you're like, well, I could just take the hit from this guy on my mech, or there may be a way to move
Yeah.
in just a way that'll kill everybody. And like you spend 10 minutes looking at the thing and you're like, no, I just gotta take the hit on that guy. You know, I gotta sacrifice this dude. So I like that a lot. Good music in this as well.
Yeah.
Like I pull up that soundtrack every once in a while. Don't sleep on that soundtrack.
I sleep on a lot of soundtracks, to be honest.
And I like the story is very loosely, it's more just implied of like it's this post-apocalyptic Earth kind of, but like everything's run by corporations.
Yeah, and every time you fail, you have to go back in time to start over.
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing. It doesn't. I'm sure there's lore out there, but it doesn't seem to be much in the game. Let's talk about number 2, Spider-Man. For the PlayStation 4.
All right, let's talk about it.
Insomniac developed.
Yep.
Creators of Ratchet and Clank. It's a really. I don't play a ton of like licensed games or even superhero games. I would say like I played like Arkham.
There aren't that many anymore.
Yeah, I guess not. There was a heyday, but Spider-Man is well known in video game circles. I think because of like Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 2, everyone
Yeah.
loved that one. I never played it personally. So this is my first Spider-Man game. So I think they got the web slinging right, but I don't know.
They definitely got it right. Like,
Okay. Insomniac, I was excited for them to do this because they did
Sunset.
that other one. Yeah, Sunset Overdrive, which the traversal was really good in that.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite open world traversal. The only one where I'm like, oh, that thing's all the way across the map. I'm not going to use fast travel.
Yeah, because
You
it's
know
just
what I mean?
fun to go over there.
Exactly.
And it's also true in Spider-Man. The swinging,
Yeah.
like the physics feel really good, and the sense of motion is really cool, and like you have different abilities you can use to go faster.
It was like it's a good like superhero sim
Yeah.
because I got that feeling. And I think I did a similar thing in Arkham Knight where like I'm perched on a rooftop and I'm like, okay, I see there's snipers all around, or these guys are gonna beat this dude up. I'm gonna swing down there. I'm gonna kick their ass. I'm not gonna get hit once, and I'm also gonna just do all the moves
Yeah.
because it looks cool. When you do stuff because it looks cool, I feel like that's when you've really nailed the thing.
Yeah.
And also just like swinging around the city, like at least at the beginning, constantly getting like alerts of like, oh, there's a bank being robbed over here. There's a car chase going down here. It feels like the character of Spider-Man because like he can't cram all this into his life.
Yeah, like the crime fighting interferes with this personal life stuff, and
Yeah.
you really understand like how that happens because he feels this responsibility.
So often I'd be going to do my story mission and they'd be like, oh, there's guys on the roof with drugs. And I'm
Yeah.
like, fucking A. And just all the ways that they brought in the other characters and stuff I thought were really cool. Like at first it was, you and I were talking, it was weird that like it's Spider-Man, he's established in this game, but Doc Ock and Norman Osborn aren't like a thing yet.
Yeah, it's a different way to do Spider-Man where you kind of do things backwards, but it's
Kind
cool
of
because
Spider-Verse-esque in that way.
Yeah, he is Spider-Man, but like we still get to see like the most important like moments of his career.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that Norman Osborn is going to be a big factor in the sequel.
I'm sure. And I'm sure they're going to make one.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our number 1 game of 2018.
Game of the year.
Game of the Year, God of War. Another PS4 exclusive.
Good year for the PS4.
Yeah. You know, it's I will say I think 2018 wasn't like there wasn't any one game that I was like, no, this is the shit. But I liked God of War more than the rest of these, I'd say. It kind of was the complete package. Good story, good gameplay mechanics, combat and everything. Good, it looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of had everything.
It was a game that was just good at everything. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's good enough to
It had
the best game of the
insane
year.
boy a lot, good memes.
Yeah, good
boy
memes for this game.
Yeah.
I really liked the when you get to the open, like the lake area. It's a couple
yeah.
hours into the game, and like over time, the lake drains and it reveals new locations and new paths through the area. And that's like God of War, I think, is known often for like it's super violent combat, but it also has always had like really cool level design stuff.
Yeah.
And that was really a big part of this game as well.
And I never really played any of the other God of Wars, so coming into it was a soft reboot, I'd say. For
Yeah,
the new
it's a
generation.
sequel, but it's like changes a lot of stuff to
Yeah.
be like basically a reboot.
Some grumbles before the game came out of like, oh, I wish they would do the old style. And it's just like, I don't know. That stuff totally never seemed like a necessity to me. It
Yeah,
seemed like
the
it would be a
series could've-
smart thing to change
It was
now.
smart to do this and just like start over.
And the little hints they're dropping of the other pantheons of gods is really cool. Like there's an area where he sees like I think Egyptian gods and stuff. So there's tons of room that the series can kind of grow into. And that's not even a knock, but that's one thing I'd say about this game. It felt like the intro to something more. Like I'm very excited to see what they do with the next one, you
Yeah.
know? Like they didn't even show us Thor in this game really.
You get a little tease,
Little tease.
but that's all you need.
But like I thought maybe we'd be like fighting Odin by the end of this thing. Maybe I'm stupid.
We fight Zeus in 3.
Sure.
So maybe you'll find Odin in this
Maybe.
third one.
But yeah, overall just a very good game and some more like heart than I would think that a God of War game would have.
Yeah, they did a lot more to earn the family drama than the original games did.
Yeah. I anticipated there would be some just based on previews and stuff, but I thought they did a good job with that. All right, that's 2018 in a nutshell.
That's the list.
Yeah, we rifled through it. Anything that we didn't hit? Any honorable mentions?
I like Donut County. It was cool.
Donut County? I think you like that more than I did, and I
Yeah.
think it's because I played Katamari, so I just kind of just felt like this is
It's a
worse
little
Katamari.
mini Katamari for you.
Sure,
Little fun.
it was cute. I like Dead Cells a lot. I just feel like the progression is broken. Like I'm like 15 hours in, and I don't feel like I'm making much headway, and I'm just like, all right, that's enough of that. And of course, Hollow Knight was the best game that came out this year. That's a joke because people keep putting it on their list, even though it came out last year.
Well, now it came out 2 years ago.
Oh God, you're right. Anyway, well, that's 2018, folks. Thanks for listening, and most of all, thank you for being a friend.